Hello everybody, and welcome back. Another release, another video. So let's jump straight into it. But before I just thought of a thing. Before we jump into it, let's talk a little bit about summer. Because summer is coming, isn't it? You can't see it from the hoodie, but summer is actually on its way. And with summer comes our summer release. I just want to mention that in our summer release, we'll be focusing less on larger projects and more on these smaller improvements. So we'll try to make as many small improvements as we can throughout summer and deliver it to you after our summer period. With that said, let's jump into the improvements. So first off, for resetting passwords, we changed the password validator a little bit. So when you're in the action of changing the password, the change password button will actually only activate when both your password and the confirmation passwords are the same. It's going to make it a little bit easier, and then you can actually ensure that your two passwords are actually correct. Besides that, I have a very nice one for you, one we kind of stumbled upon a couple of weeks ago. We have now removed the margins that was applied to the generated PDF documents. So in the PDF generator, we found that it was actually adding a small margin throughout the entire outside of the page. That has now been removed. So now your pages should look more like you would expect from the reader when you are generating PDF. Very positive, and I'm very happy that we finally found that one. Now, let's move on to bugs, or bug fixes at least. So here we have a good handful. When printing the review log, all pages should now be printed when you select all instead of just the single one. Also, we cleaned up the UI for the reset password field. It had quite a cluttered look and things were pushed together after we did some changes. That has now been fixed. Same thing, we fixed a minor visual issue with the user login log. And a good one, we changed our password validation. So now we follow the Microsoft convention. So now you can no longer have emojis in your passwords. And of course, a couple of other things that goes into that. But now we're following the Microsoft convention at least. And then with this new password validator, we also allowed so that you can have a colon as a special symbol in your password. And even if you have that, you can now also log on to the EFB, which is a good thing. Two more admins allowing users to change passwords would sometimes result in an error when they were trying to change the password from the email that they got. That has now been fixed. I saw this myself, so now we are very happy to have this fixed. The compliance library will once more suggest a heading when you're trying to update to an outdated connection, which will help you a lot. We had an issue with that. It fell off and now it's back and working. And then the very last one is also with compliance connections. Compliance connections will now be correct even if they're created to the first heading of a document. We had issues there. That has now been fixed. With all of that, let's jump on and discuss hotfixes of the month, because we had a few hotfixes this month, and I think it's important that we lift this up as well. Two smaller hotfixes. One of them changed the compliance library difference engine to ignore the differences between different dashes, meaning that some dashes are normal dashes, other dashes are this little line. So dashes can be different symbols, and that has now been covered with one, so the system will see it as one. So if the dashes are changed to the other type of dash, then it will ignore it as a change, which will help you whenever the authorities decide to change between dashes. And a few more. The control view will now once more show the correct information on the checkout date and quiz checkout. We had an issue there, it wasn't updated right or showed right. It will now be good again. And the last ones, fixed an issue causing unnumbered headings connected to compliance regulations to be outdated when any change was applied to the document. That has now been fixed, so now you can actually have the connections to unnumbered headings without them breaking from nothing. And the very last one, headings with non-breaking space characters in them. That is a space which looks like a space but not really a space, will now once again display compliance connections correctly in the manual. So beforehand, if you had a non-breaking space character in your heading, the little compliance connection underneath the heading would not be shown. It is now again, so that should make quite a few of you very, very happy. And that is all I had for you. I hope you enjoyed. If I don't see you in summer, I hope you enjoy the beginnings of the warm weather. Goodbye.